let's take a look at one of the most popular sitcom couples of all time, and one of the most questionable, Ross and Rachel from Friends. Look, we know that legions of fans shipped this couple. They were the golden pair of the show. Plus, they were clearly going to end up together eventually. But let's take a look at their track record. When they initially got together after being friends for years, the relationship appeared solid. Then Ross's ridiculous jealousy reared its head over Rachel's male boss, and Rachel asked for a break. So, Ross got together with the first girl who showed interest with him that very night. When Rachel found out she broke up with him, she couldn't trust him anymore. The pair proceeded to have an on-again, off-again relationship that was always simmering even when it was off. At his wedding to Emily, Ross said Rachel's name during his vows. When Emily called the whole thing off, he then went on his honeymoon with Rachel. And when Ross and Rachel finally got married, they did so in a drunken stupor in Las Vegas. Then, instead of getting the marriage annulled as he promised, Ross decided to secretly keep the marriage going, woo Rachel, and then spring their still married status on her once they were in love again. Because by then, it'd be a good surprise, right? After having a baby together and dating many other people, they finally got together for good, just in time for Rachel to move to Paris for her job. Between the jealousy, trust issues, and chaos of their relationship, Ross and Rachel weren't exactly the model of modern romance, but they were clearly meant to be. Now let's turn our attention to some smart characters who got into dumb relationships. First up, Veronica and Logan from Veronica Mars. Fans adored this couple's zippy, dynamic, and crackling chemistry. Logan was suave and charismatic, and Veronica was brilliant and sassy. Despite how appealing they were together, it was shocking that they got together at all. At the beginning of the series, Logan is introduced as an entitled jerk who torments anyone who doesn't fit in with the wealthy crowd he hangs with, including Veronica. Veronica knows he's awful, and the two are antagonistic toward each other, until they're not. This starts as an on-again, off-again dynamic that is anything but healthy. Logan is the damaged product of a terrible home life, and the show repeatedly tried to make him and his terrible behavior sympathetic. Still, Logan is volatile and could explode at any minute. No matter how Veronica tries to hold him to a higher standard, Logan is who he is. That makes it hard for Veronica to trust him. She even suspects he may be to blame for her best friend's tragic end at one point. After a roller coaster of a relationship, Veronica finally comes to her senses after going to college. She gets together with a far more stable, if less compelling Piz, and sticks with him even though she's still attracted to Logan. Yet, when the Veronica Mars movie came out in 2014, Veronica quickly jumped back into Logan's arms in the act of pure fan service. Another pair of smart people who got together in stupid circumstances is Meredith and Derek on Grey's Anatomy. Sure, these two eventually worked it out and even had a pretty good marriage, but the start of their relationship wasn't exactly a fairy tale. Meredith and Derek first met at a bar. After spending the night together, they both went to their jobs, Derek as a brilliant neurosurgeon at a nearby Seattle hospital, and Meredith as a promising new intern at the same hospital. That made Derek Meredith's boss. Whoops. And yet, Derek kept pursuing Meredith, and they kept getting together. Even Krista Vernoff, Grey's Anatomy showrunner, said that in the wake of #MeToo and Time's Up movement, the show wouldn't tell a story like that again. At the time, though, Meredith and Derek's relationship progressed. Just when they were falling in love, Derek's wife, who he had kept a secret, popped up in Seattle, leaving Meredith heartbroken. Of course, this left their professional relationship strained. This was especially bad for Meredith's career since she was still learning to be a surgeon. After Derek found he couldn't work things out with his wife, he turned back to Meredith, leading to their tumultuous on-again, off-again period. After years of that, they finally managed to get together for good, and fans cheered with relief. It was difficult to predict the outcome at the start of the relationship, though. The next relationship, Chuck and Blair on Gossip Girl, has been fodder for fan debates for years. Are they amazingly romantic or completely toxic? We're going with the second one. It's true that in certain ways, Chuck and Blair are the perfect match. Neither of them are fantastic people, they're rich and obnoxious, and they both lie and manipulate to get what they want. Throughout their relationship, they're emotionally and physically abusive to one another. With their less than stellar track records both as individuals and as a couple, their relationship was anything but enviable. Chuck was possessive and cheated on Blair, and what might be his most despicable act, he traded her to his uncle for a hotel. Yikes. While these two have a long, complex history together, and many fans love them, their relationship isn't exactly aspirational. No matter who you are, no one should be with someone who treats their partner like these two do. Another romance in a teen-focused show that was less than healthy is the relationship between Damon and Elena on The Vampire Diaries. Damon was Elena's second vampire boyfriend. While she was human, she was with Damon's younger brother, Stefan. While that relationship had its fair share of issues, Elena's romance with Damon was far more problematic. Not only was her balancing between brothers a head-scratcher that created a lot of drama between the siblings, but Elena only developed feelings for Damon after she became a vampire. Although she maintained her feelings for Damon once she became human again, it was never completely clear why. Elena seems to disapprove of a lot of Damon's actions, frequently judging and shaming him, even if his goal was to protect her. And let's face it, Damon wasn't exactly an upstanding citizen. He loved Elena beyond all reason, but he also had a tendency to act out, and when that happened, it often meant someone was going to get hurt or worse. Many fans argued that Damon taught Elena how to really live, and Elena taught Damon how to be a better person. Plus, their chemistry was undeniable. Yet, like any relationship between a vampire and a human, this one was more hot than healthy. Of course, toxic TV relationships aren't limited to heterosexual couples. Take, for example, Piper and Alex from Orange is the New Black. The two are caught in an awful cycle of revenge and betrayal. Not only was Piper thrown in prison because of Alex, later Piper gave as good as she got and ratted out Alex to get her thrown back into prison. In prison, they lie and manipulate one another, they cheat on each other, and cheat on their significant others with each other. Despite the making up and breaking up they do, they seem to be constantly thrown back together, but that could also be the intensity of being in prison together. Prison isn't the best place to build any relationship, but their love-hate dynamics sparked in the show's early seasons, untangling their long history and where it left them made the characters fascinating together. Now that their relationship has softened and the two have committed to each other, it's hard to fathom how either of them could get over all the terrible things they've done to each other over the years. This doesn't seem like a relationship that could possibly last once the two are out of prison. Last but certainly not least on our list of couples that are horrible for each other is Cookie and Lucius from Empire. After 4 seasons, these two are officially together, but they're still dysfunctional as ever. When they first met when they were young and poor, their shared dream seemed to pull them through. They founded a successful company together, and things seemed like they would work out. Then, Cookie went to jail for Lucius, and Lucius became a star. He dumped her, leading to all sorts of bad feelings between them. In the years since her release, Cookie and Lucius have been allies and antagonists, sometimes during the same conversation. They've lied, cheated, and plotted against each other in the worst possible ways. If that weren't enough, they know each other so well that they know just how to hit the other where it hurts the most. Despite it all, fans still adore them. No matter what they do, they can't let the other go, and neither can fans. Now that they're together, they still fight and love with equal passion. Will the other shoe drop and cause them to break up again? Only time will tell. That's a wrap on our list of toxic TV romances that fans love. These couples may not exactly be relationship goals, but they're still a whole lot of fun to watch. There are probably others that have either already graced our television screens or will be soon. Enjoy the drama.